Hi guys, in one of my charity shop videos I showed I'd picked up a few bags of these coils of PLA, 5 meter coils, 20 pieces in a bag, and several people suggested I should try joining them together to make a longer reel. Yeah, could do. I'm actually quite happy using them the length they are. But because I've been asked, I've had a look at a few videos on how to join PLA. First thing I'll say is if you're actually at your printer at the time it's about to run out, you can just feed the next coil of PLA straight into the hole where the end of the old one disappears. I've done that a few times in the past, but you're not normally going to be standing by your printer waiting for it to run out. So you could join them. Lots of videos on YouTube how to do them. There's quite a few tools available online for joining them together. I'll put some video links in the video description so you can have a look at some of them. I mean, there's hundreds, but I think I've put about 5 in the video description. Anyway, I had a look. One of the ways that seems to work quite nicely is to use the Bowden tube from your printer. This is one that I've replaced, and this is just a, what's that, about 100 millimeters cut off the end of it. If you heat up your bit of filament, let's just get a bit, put it in there first, heat it up, heat the other piece up, join them together, then pull it in there and run it backwards and forwards a bit. If you're lucky, they'll join together and they'll be held to the right size because they're already in the tube. Let's just get another piece so we can see what I'm talking about. Several suggestions on watching people doing this. One suggestion is heat it till it's melted, pull it in, and then push the other one in afterwards. And if you're lucky, they'll join that way. Other people are saying join them first by heating them and then push them in. And one I've seen, you actually split this so that once you have joined them, you don't have to leave it on there until it's run out. So if you split it before you do it, push them in, then you should be able to peel it off through the split. And I did see a tool for doing that. So I've 3D printed my version. Now, you've got to get the dimensions right, and I haven't tried this yet. This slot allows you to put your filament in there. This I will split in a minute, but the idea is you put it on there when it's split, slide it in there, which will hold it for you, then heat the end of your filament, pull it through, and that should hold the split in the Bowden tubing closed. So that's the theory. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. I printed one of these and it was just too tight for that to slide in, so I had to print another one with a slightly bigger hole in it. And I do suspect that it may all jam up solid in there. Remember, this is PLA anyway, so that's going to go soft if we let it get too hot. But the first thing I'm going to do is cut a slot or split down one side of this, and then we'll give it a go. I designed this so I can actually clamp it on the edge of here to hold it still while I'm working on it. So all this fancy work here is to stop it crushing because it's got extra walls in it. So we can clamp that solid. Have that sticking out. And see if we can work on it. Well, cutting the slot is done. So that's going to fit in there, and being in there should hold the slot shut. I probably don't need as much sticking out at the moment, but I'm going to leave it like that. That hole is only that diameter up to that point anyway. Next question is, how are you going to heat it? If you use a soldering iron, you're going to gum up your soldering iron. If you use a candle, there's a good chance you're going to get carbon deposits on your filament, which might be a problem. Probably be a good idea to organise something to hold this in place while you're working on it. Anyway, I'll get a clamp to hold that still. Right, we're going to try this. I'm just going to try heating it with a gas flame. I'm going to heat that one. And then I'm just going to push that one in. I've cut that at an angle to give us a fighting chance of actually lining it all up. Then I'll just push that in, and then we'll try and move it backwards and forwards a bit. So I think I've made this too long, but we'll leave it like that for now so we can practice. Probably going to end up burning myself, but let's see. Pull that in a bit, push that on top of it. Do you think we've left it long enough? If I can pull it, then it must have joined. It joined, but not very well. Looks like we do need to heat both ends. People get very excited about cutting it at exactly a 45-degree angle. But I don't think that makes any difference, because once you've heated it up, that's disappeared. So try and do this without burning our fingers. Let's have that about there somewhere. Pull that one in. Push that one on top. Oh, we can see that going all the way up the slot there. Well, that was interesting, being able to see that. Because once it's gone in there, we know that it's clamped shut. It's still moving. Can I pull it out? Well, it has joined, but again it's failed. Now this time it's failed because the pink has snapped. So whether that would have actually been good enough to get it into the feeder, or whatever you want to call it, and it may work different with different PLA. Again, one guy was saying he could only get the same brand of PLA to join successfully. Pull that one in, push that one on top of it, push that right the way in. Well, we can see the effect. I mean, it's sort of working. Pull that one out again. That one's not worked that time. And because it doesn't make it any easier that I'm trying to film it at the same time, because I'm trying to leave you space so you can see what I'm doing. Pull that one in. Oh, no, that's cooled down. Too slow. Oh, one guy, what he was doing was heating it, stretching it, so you had a nice little, well, like that, only that didn't work for me. Let's try that again. All right, stretched it like that. And that one has already done that sort of thing, but we'll do it again. And that didn't work so effectively that time. Pull that one, push that one. That's a total fail. I think we'll go back to my first way of doing it. I expect if you do it often enough, it'll become easier to do. Pull that in, push that after it, push them together. That's made a right mess. Yeah, that didn't work very well at all. So what if we had one success and 4 failures? I think I can make that shorter. So we've got quite a gap there now that's forming. That didn't work. That can't have worked. No, total failure. Going to shorten this. Yeah, that's really stretched now, isn't it? I pulled that right out then. Probably need little tape marks on it or something so you know how far to pull it. And that one's messy and need cleaning up. People suggest sanding it down to make it fit, and I'm thinking, well, sand has got grit in it, sandpaper's got grit in it, you probably end up getting grit into your nozzle, and that's the last thing you want. One guy I watched was using heat shrink tubing to hold it together and then cutting the heat shrink tubing off after he'd heated it up. That seemed to work. Right, well that seems to have joined this time. I'm not going to bother with a lateral flex to see if it breaks. We'll just see if we can pull this out. That's the theory. Right, so we've got it out, so now we should be able to just peel this off. Like that. So yeah, we have joined it. It doesn't look particularly pretty. You could clean it up. I would suggest using a knife rather than a sandpaper. It might work. So there. Oh, and what I didn't show you was I'm using these clamps to hold the coils at the same time, so that's handy. Well, it sort of works. It works as well as one of the videos which is demonstrating one of the kits you can get on eBay that didn't seem to work very well. So it works as well as that. I suppose I probably don't need this end of the clamp, or I could just have a piece like that that goes right the way through. Because there's no real benefit in it only going halfway. I thought we might be when we're pushing that in, we might need something to stop the tube disappearing out the other side, but I don't think that's an issue. Right, I've spent a stupid amount of time trying to join some lengths together just so we can get a test run. So I've got pink to green to pink to green again. I've tidied up the joints by rubbing it on this file because I didn't want to use sandpaper and risk bits of grit getting into the filament. So hopefully I'm just rubbing it off rather than rubbing grit in. And I'll design something that we can just print and get enough to go through the printer to test the 1, 2, 3 joins. Well, I was just going to time lapse this, but I'm so worried about it struggling to get through, I think I'll stand and watch it. So just a reminder, what we've got here is we've got PLA that I've welded together or spliced together, heated it and pushed it together. We've got some pink, then we've got some green, and then we've got some pink, then we've got some green again. The item I'm going to print actually needs about 3 meters. That green spool is about 5 meters. And the actual bit we got the colour change on is maybe a metre, if that. I'm also printing it with a raft, so quite a bit of that's going to go into the raft anyway. Right, we're starting. I'll come back in a minute when the first splice starts going through. Well, I think because I've added a raft to this print, we're probably going to get the first change in colour still on the raft. Because I deliberately did short lengths just so we'd actually get some colour change in a relatively short print. Right, it's just finished the raft and just started to print properly. And I think you can see we've got about 1 inch of pink sticking out. And we get to the green, first bit of green. Oh, I think we've changed colour. I really can't see because it's such a small item I'm printing. Yeah, I think we got green coming through now. Okay, we'll come back in a little while when it's the next change. Right, the next join has gone through, or at least it's in there. I think we're still printing green at the moment, yeah. So I'll wait for that to find its way through. I'm trying to edit videos downstairs, but I want to see this go through as much as possible. One thing I didn't mention is I already had 3 attempts at printing this particular design, and it's failed each time. This time I'm printing it with a raft to try and make sure it all holds together. And while we're waiting for that, just reach in the bin. That's one of the previous fails. And that's another fail. That one looks okay, but it is failed. The bottom failed. But that's what it should look like when it's finished. Only this time, pink and green. Alright, I think we might have pink coming out now. Yep, just got pink coming out. So, come back in about another 10 minutes when the next join goes through. And from then on it's just green. So what we should end up with is a couple of, what was it? A pink top and a green stripe, and then a pink stripe, and then green again. And then the rest of it will be green. Well, we've definitely got a green band, and then pink. And that's just coming up to the next splice. And after that, we can just let it go green. Yeah, I think we're on to green now. Okay, well we'll come back in a few minutes and have another little look just to make sure. But I think we're there. And then we'll leave it till it's finished. So another 5 minutes, come back and have a look, and then we'll leave it. Well, that appears to have gone through okay. We've clearly got a pink band. It's a shame I didn't have a bit more pink right at the beginning, because all the pink was wasted in the raft. And for those who don't know what a raft is, it's the big square bit that's stuck to the build plate. Okay, well, I will do a picture of it when it's finished, but the important bit was whether those splices went through the extruder, and they did. So that was a success. It was an awful lot of fuss though. Oh, cheeky fly. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.